Congressman John Rose joins us on the Murphy Show hotline. I know his time is so limited. You got votes. You got a lot of things going on Capitol Hill. Congressman, thank you for making yourself available to Middle Tennessee. We appreciate you. How are you, John?
It's good to be with you. I'm doing great. Thank you.
I know that at any moment you might have to go to votes. Just tell me if you have to, and we'll suspend the conversation because that's far more important than little old me, John. But I wanted to catch up with you and ask you about some of the things going on Capitol Hill, not the least of which is the specter, the possibility of yet another government shutdown. It seems that these things come up almost on a bi-monthly basis or whatnot. And we've got the end of the fiscal year right around the corner on September 30th, and there's a possibility that we might foresee a government shutdown. Tell me what you know about it.
Well, first of all, Matt, thanks for having me on your show today and on WTN. I appreciate it and appreciate the opportunity to represent the people of the 6th District of Tennessee. And you're right, we've got just, 10 days here until we reach the end of the month and the specter of a shutdown. And that does no one any good, frankly. And I think in this case will be particularly harmful to Republicans and our efforts to restore fiscal responsibility and really claim the initiative and continue to have the initiative here in Washington. So we're working hard to try to find a compromise and a deal so that we can kind of put the ball, hit the ball into the Senate's court and force them to reckon with this. For us on the Republican side, this is about being sensible about getting budget, appropriations to a level that is sustainable, sending us in the right direction, stopping the just runaway spending of the Biden administration, and also addressing maybe one of the most critical issues facing the country in recent years, and that is the chaos at the southern border. And so we have a bill that's up for a vote tomorrow. I think there's still some discussion being done about whether we can get the votes that we need, 218 votes to pass it on the House side, but it would address the southern border situation in a way that I think would be very positive for the country going forward and that the American people would embrace. And it makes real cuts during a 30-day emergency extension of the current fiscal year spending. A 1% cut, but it's important to note that in many areas that will be a much higher level of cut. So, the Senate will almost certainly want to have a say in that. So there'll be a further negotiation, but I think it would be the best way for House Republicans to continue to claim the initiative.
We just passed $33 trillion in debt. And that's on the backs of the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren of the people listening to this radio show. For many, it is maybe you would characterize it, John, I don't know, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but as an simplification of the budgetary process. But for many folks, they can appreciate the idea of shutting the government down until we get some physical sanity back in our budgeting process. How do you respond when folks back in the home district talk to you about these things?
Sure. So I share the view that, that $33 trillion, it mortgages our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren's future. And it's really immoral that our generation is burdening them with that and limiting the potential that they might have in their lives by giving them that much debt. But we have to be realistic about the process in Washington. The founders gave us a process. It's a very cumbersome process. And there's really no good way to short-circuit it. So we have to, we didn't get here in one giant step, and we're not going to get back to the right spot in one giant step. What we've got to do is start taking the steps, turning this aircraft carrier that is our country, and we started that with the Fiscal Responsibility Act. Some of us wanted to go further, including me, and that's why I voted against it. I did vote for Limit, Save, Grow back in the spring, which I thought was a better step in the right direction. And so we need to make a further step here, and that's what we're trying to do. We can't do it all at once. And so when we shut down the government, Republicans and conservatives and those of us who want to restore fiscal responsibility, we're going to be the ones that lose. Because, first of all, it's a huge waste of money. Government employees are going to be furloughed, but then it's just a paid vacation for them. And so, and then it creates all sorts of additional costs to the American people and damages the economy. And it will politically damage Republicans because we'll be blamed. Now, we might be blamed regardless, but if we can kick the ball to them and force them to come to reckon with a reasonable proposal from the House, I think we stand a better chance. So we look like the adults in the room. We're not the ones that are setting the stage for a shutdown. We are providing a path forward, just as we did back in the spring. And so that's what I hope we're able to work out and get accomplished on the House side. Congressman
John Rose of the 6th Congressional District of the state of Tennessee joining us on the show today in between votes. And I so appreciate you doing that, John. I know time there's a crunch going on right now, but let's talk about impeachment. I fully believe
I'm
that.
Sorry, Matt, but
you got to run.
I have to go make that.
Well, I get it. I understood that. John, we'll talk again very soon. Thanks for the time that we had.
Yes, thank you.